All right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. I will say this is a lovely day in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. Just coming with a little something, something. We are going to cover a little bit of what is going on over in Israel with the Hebrew Israelites that are being taken off their land, least force off what they call their land. As I listened to several people here on YouTube, I realized how deep this whole ideal of being awakened really is. It is just the opposite of what it has been labeled. It says that it is awakening, but it is a newfound belief, a religion that really basically deceive people that they have awakening to some newfound information, and it's really set up like a religion, like all the others, because it really doesn't bring people to the fullness into what is spirit and truth. And to me, that is an issue with me, but it's an issue not from my outer man, it's from my inner man, because the people still are lost without a cause. You have people over in Israel that are and have been for quite some time. There are some that went over to the land in 20 years ago. Then you have those who have traveled and have claimed it to be their land and have called it home and have called it their property in a sense, but waiting for the Most High to move them from one location, which is out of the four corners, over to that land. But what I think has happened is because we have turned down, and I didn't realize it, I really didn't, but it makes sense today. I didn't realize it until today that if they have not heard, or they have not and will not hear the prophet of yesterday, they're not going to hear the prophets of today. So it makes sense because I'm hearing Ezekiel tell them something totally different than what has been taught and drilled in the people's mindset today. And that's because they're loving on being deceived. They have accepted being deceived. And I want to also say that the majority of people who pretend that they're walking in the light, they are still yet deceived because they still believe in the things which are in the darkness. See, you can't say I'm walking in the light, but yet believe everything that is being said that's in the darkness. You have to be able, you have to be able to identify the light to be separate from the darkness. And what I'm saying is the reason why you have so many people following the darkness is because, first of all, y'all prophesied that they would. Second is they're living two, there's two entities, flesh and spirit. And because their spirit haven't gotten their flesh under subjection, then therefore they have no other choice but to walk in darkness. Now, like I said, I found out today the deepness of how they didn't hear them yesterday. Because if they heard them yesterday, let's say for instance today, if you can hear the prophets yesterday, then you will be in a form of coming to the knowledge, coming to the light. Your eyes will be open. But because they didn't hear the prophet yesterday, And those same prophets that's speaking to us today, they cannot hear. They can't even hear the prophet of yesterday. So Yah is saying, Deborah, what makes you think they can hear the prophets of today? He said they can. And it makes sense because it makes you stand in an area with Yah alone. Because he said, they say they see, but they cannot see. They say they hear, but they cannot hear. He's letting those who can see and those who can hear embrace the fact that they cannot see and they cannot hear. As I see some of those who have been on YouTube for quite some time and have led the multitude, and to me the multitude is say 500 and more. When they lead them, they don't lead them to the light of understanding. They lead them to the darkness so that they can continue to stumble over everything that was, that is, and that shall be. And because of that, in the last 3 days, I saw the Most High in a way that's powerful, I would say. I can't say no more than that. Because I saw him in a way that when they didn't listen then, he allowed this to come upon them. He allowed this to happen. You know, he didn't play with them. Y'all wasn't one that kept, how would I say it, playing with the people or giving the people all the choices. Because what happened is their generation end out, and they died out, or they died by the sword, or died by the wrath of Yah. Next. That's how Yah did it. He didn't sit and turmoil with them from the beginning to the end like the people are being taught today. They don't want to go into the light of what is righteous and what is true. They want to say they're walking in the light. They want to feel they're walking in the light. They want to think they're walking in the light, but yet continue to step in darkness and call it the light. But Yah said it's all well. And when he have to say that to me, that's a form of comforting me. That let me know it's all well, Deborah. Go back and read those prophets of yesterday, your brothers of yesterday. Read about them. If they didn't hear them, don't expect them to hear you. Now with me, I don't expect anyone to really hear me. I do expect for me to get it out to the wind and let the wind take it where it need be. Because only Yah himself knows where the wind shall carry each and everything that I say in the direction in which he desired it to go. So I thank him for that and giving me that whole enlightened understanding that if you go to Ezekiel, you hear Ezekiel telling them one thing, why are they thinking another today? Those that's leading the people on by multitude on these devil platforms call themselves, to me they between two sides. They want to play like they in the light, but they ride more so in the darkness than they in the light. So they on the fence, just leaning more so to the dark side and pretending every now and then I'm gonna tap her with the light. But y'all just saying no. Those that is on the fence, Deborah, and those that's sprattling the fence is not of me. And it makes sense. When I say it makes sense, is when Yah has to come to me and minister to my spirit to get me to understand that it's okay and that it need be. Because what you're seeing, even what I saw back in the days, he said, even like unto this day, he said it's no different but greater, of what was yesterday. It's greater of that that's going on today. So that there is scary all in itself. So as he was taking me to Ezekiel today, I was in Ezekiel 36. And the reason why I was in Ezekiel 36, because as I listened to 3 people talk about the people over in Israel who's being told they had to leave. They had 60 days to leave, or they have to leave that land. And these are called Hebrew Israelites. First of all, y'all want me to tell you all that's teaching these people this nonsense. They didn't have no business having their butt over there. You should not have been over there, because that's not where he dispersed those on the four corners. So when you took on going back there, you took on your own task, okay? And because of where we at in these last and evil days that has been prophesied, you ain't got no business over there. So believe me, it is still yet the will of the Father to tell you march your butt up out of there because you wasn't supposed to be over there. And Sister Deborah finna is getting ready to let you hear what Ezekiel said in chapter 7. And then I'm going to let you hear what Ezekiel said in chapter 36. Please, please, I'm going to slow it down as slow as possible so you can hear what Yah was saying to Ezekiel out of his own mouth. He said, everything that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah. So listen to what he's saying to Ezekiel. And that's what a lot of people do not understand. Yah, when he's coming to you today, he's coming out of the mouth of the prophets. No, not the pastors. He's not coming after the watchmen. He's not coming out of the seers. He's not coming out of the Moors. He's coming, when he wants you to understand what he is saying, it's going to be out of the mouth of the prophets, like days prior. Okay? So he's not coming to give you what pleases you, or who dress a certain way, who look the role, who put on the clown clothes and act the role. You either going to hear what comes out of the mouth of Yah through his prophets, or you just going to be still in la la land. Okay? Because when I'm sitting here listening to Ezekiel, you know what? With me, I hear the prophets. I hear them to the point where they be ministering to my spirit. I hear them. I have always heard them. Okay? I have heard them to the point of even beholding how they got up, came, and how they left. You know, I be just into really their whole mission, and it's really sad, but it's in the end of it is beautiful. It's beautiful. The outcome of it is beautiful. So that's what the Most High want me to hold on to, is to hold on to the endurance gift in which he has instilled in me. Okay? Because that endurance is going to allow me to see what the prophets were saying, warning me what today was going to be like. And sit in it, Deborah. Learn what you're learning today. Understand what you're understanding today. Because, see, your prophets has already prepared you. They already prepared you for what today is. So don't be all bent up and bent down when these people are on this internet teaching the people darkness. Because they're not going to teach them. One thing they're not going to teach, and they're not going to precept, is what proceeded out of the mouth of Yah, what proceeded out of the mouth of Yeshua HaMashiach, and what proceeded out of the mouth of the prophets. They will not precept line little here and little there. Because their whole newfound religion under the Hebrew Israelite movement is to give you everything out of the mouth of the men in this book, outside of what comes out of the mouth of Yah, what comes out of the mouth of Yeshua HaMashiach, and what comes out of the mouth of apostles. Why is that? Because the prophets were speaking, and the Spirit of the Most High spoke to them. And in their books, in this Bible, you can hear what comes out of the mouth of Yah. That's why Yah said they ain't listening to the prophets, because I'm talking strictly to the prophets, and the prophets is communing with me, going back to tell the people exactly what I said out of my mouth, and they not listening. So that's why he come to me and say, it's all right, Deborah, this need be, this was, this is, and it shall be. So it's a beautiful thing to know that Yah still have you in the palm of his hands to the point where he wants you to be okay. And I love him for that, always checking up on me, making sure I'm staying in line with what comes and proceed out of his mouth. Make sure I stick firm to what he says to me, and not what man is saying on his Deborah platform. Am I human? Yes. Am I flesh? Yes. That is what take and hear different odds videos and be asking the Most High, why are they saying this? Why are they teaching this? They say they know you. They say they see you. They know you. He said, no, Deborah, they cannot see, nor can they hear. They are not of minds. They are their own self understanding and what they want to start in their newfound religion, and they have successfully. There are many that comes in using Yahuwah and making you think that they're about worshiping the Most High Yah. Then they flip the script and go over on the other end of the fence and ride that fence and say, oh, I'm not about this. I'm about this. Just so you won't get so tied up in hearing what they have to say about Yah, because there's very little. So they want you to let you know, when you're going to hear about what I got to say in the darkness, that's really who I am, and that's what they are about. But the people love them. So shall it be. Because like he said, they didn't listen to the prophets then, Deborah, they're not going to listen to you. And I never expected them to. And I said to the Most High, nor did I. I didn't. Because truth ain't never heard. It's never heard. It's a lot of people pretend, they role play, they act the role. But I just think the Most High that Deborah don't know all of them, don't know them, don't know the deepness of who they are, but he does. And he allowed them to role play themselves straight into their destiny. That's why he told the parable, and he said the servant said, "Do you want me to tie up and separate the tare from the wheat?" He said, "Nuh-uh. You know why? Because the wheat and the tare are gonna separate themselves, and then I'm gonna do the rest." It's deep, and they are separating themselves. Now in Ezekiel chapter 7, I went to Ezekiel chapter 36, and Ezekiel told me, Deborah, you need to read 7 too. And when I went into Ezekiel chapter 7, and then I read again, which I've read several times, Ezekiel 36, it wraps up the mindset of the people today. Even those who would get on this devil platform and justify, clarify, and identify why these people are getting put out of Israel. See, they say they see, but they cannot see. They say they hear, but they cannot hear. Who is it they to see? They to see what Yah showed them in time past. They to hear what Yah has spoken out of his prophets in the time past and out of his mouth. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that because they are under an umbrella called the New Found Religion, Hebrew Israelite. And that's where Yah is going to let them die out in that new found religion, because it's dying out. It's definitely dying out because the mindset is going so deep over the cliff to where it's not going to be no returning back to what they first begun to teach people from the beginning of this newfound Hebrew Israelite movement. Oh, they switching the script. Yes, they are. Just keep watching, keep beholding it. They're saying one thing, but now they're doing a total different thing than what they started off. It's because it is a religion. It is not an awakening in the spirit. It is awakening in the flesh to lead you into their denomination and their belief. Now, what the Most High was dealing with me on Ezekiel chapter 7, and he had me to listen to the whole book. And when I listened to it, I was like, but Father, how could the people on this devil platform sit and try to justify, identify, and cover and clarify what the people over in Israel, the Hebrew Israelite people, having to leave because they're being really told to leave, and they have a certain at the time. What the Hebrew Israelites hear, if they're right with Yah, praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. This is where they're supposed to be praising and joining and uniting and giving him all the glory. Why? Because they shouldn't have been there. He's bringing them back to the fold, which should have been on the four corners, where he's going to send to collect them from. Okay? So they're really coming because of the time period that we are in, that Yah. See, they thinking, we got to leave our land. This is our land, because in this new awakening, they have manipulated your mind. They have tricked you to believe and deceive you that land is your land. That land as it is today is going to be what Yah say it is, not what they have deceived you to believe that it is. Many go running over to Israel and Jerusalem, naive and ignorant at the same time. Some so learned, like he said, ever learning, never coming to the knowledge of the truth. You ain't got no business over there, period. So I thank the Most High for suffering you to be able to make it to where you need to be, okay? And not where you created the picture with these newfound religions, with these men of the new awakening. They had one time, you should have heard them, all of them on the devil platform, all of them, talking about getting your a passport over to Africa. Get your passport ready. Go over to Africa. That's our home. I'm telling you all, the topic of the way this religion was come forth, it was a lot of lies and deception and lying. And the people went for it, even to today. And they were telling people were traveling, trying to get over to Africa, trying to go somewhere they didn't have no business going, but they was listening to the mouth of men. And then the Most High was dealing with me today in the water when I was in the bathroom. He said, Deborah, one of the most powerful reasons why you must be who I called you to be toward the men is because until they hear, no other shall hear. Not the women, not the children, not the elders. The men must stand firm on what is righteous and what is truth. But if they don't, and if why would I send you to always stand toe to toe toward what the women are doing? They're not the key. What the children are doing, they're not the key. It is what the forefathers in that generation is doing that's ruining for the generation to come and the generation in the past. Have not they ruined it for you? That's why you're over here. You see, you don't get it. It wasn't the foremothers. It wasn't the children of the four. It was the forefather that had ruined it for the people that had been dispersed on the four corners. And who's going to ruin it for them? The men. Can't be the women. Y'all ain't going for it. He's not calling it like that. He never have and never will. I know the men will shoot it all up in your mindset and deceive you by great numbers, but it's them. So if they are the error, then why would Yah send prophets to talk to the females? Why would he send prophets to talk to the children? He wants to talk to the men in the generation in which we are in. So why? Because if they would take one step, he would take 3. If they would take another, he would take 6. If they would take another, he would take 9. If they would take another, he would take 12. There it is. But because they haven't listened to the prophets of yesterday, even tell them how to take that one step, how to seek Yah in spirit and in truth. And then I'm sending the same prophets here today, and they still not listening to them. So where are they at? They where they want to believe. So what did they do? The men decided to let's form our own God. And we're going to form our own God. We're going to form it through our own belief. And we're going to call it the New Awakening. And in that awakening, we're going to come to the knowledge of what we see. We're going to come to the understanding of what we see. But what Deborah finna show you is that they just like the Father say they see. He didn't say they think they see. He said they say they see, but they cannot see. They say they hear, but they cannot hear. And our Sister Deborah is saying to you, like unto, they don't hear, nor do they see, nor will they accept those that Yah is sending to give them the word to take that one step so he can take 2. To take that next step. No, that one step, he can take 3. That next step, he can take 6. They don't want that because they in love with their newfound religion, the awakening. And that's all it is. Hebrew Israelite movement under an umbrella. None of them get along. None of them is unified or in unity. None of them sit down and listen to one another. All of them got their own different beliefs, but they all under the same umbrella teaching you. But Sister Deborah is coming to you with Ezekiel 7, and I'm going to slow it down so you can hear the whole book of Ezekiel, and then he told me to also let you hear the whole book of Ezekiel 36 in hope that some man would hear why the people over in Israel are being brought here When you hear it, you'll realize they wasn't supposed to be over there no way. They didn't have nothing going on. See, everybody, our men paints the picture so beautiful for the blind to see. And the blind see it and see it to be so beautiful. So if they over in Israel and making you thinking, and in Jerusalem, they make you thinking, oh, it's this and this and this, oh, it's like this, we got it made, we do this and we do this. The Most High want me to tell you, all of that is a lie from the pit of hell. And not only do he say it's a lie, he said if they just listen to Ezekiel, they listen to Jeremiah, and if they just listen to the prophet of old, they'll tell them all of what they saying is a lie. Because Yah wants you all to understand, he has disciplined and chastised heavily with his wrath the land that was once our land. He done that already. And in him, from the heavens and where we stand today, it's still like that. While we looking at them, they took our land. They over there pretending they him. Y'all want you to put more focus on him and not so much as what they're doing. Because if you put your right focus in line in spirit and truth, you'll realize really where they at. Because it's not what you think it is. It ain't, the picture is not pretty like you think. It is a horrible place because of what Yah cursed it to be. See, you thinking that you had it hard. Here go Hebrew Israelite people. They thinking, hey, we had it hard. He dispersed us on the four corners, and here we are in Babylon. They did this, they did this, they did this, they did this. Come on here, go with Ezekiel and let him tell you. Out of the mouth of Yah. Let me not say let Ezekiel tell you, but out of the mouth of Yah. Hear Yah tell you how he cursed the land. He cursed the land. The land is still as cursed as you are here in the land of Babylon. Isn't that sad that our ignorant men today, our so-called watchmen, our teachers, our seers, our Moors, our pastors, our so-called leaders, wannabe, our so-called kings, is too ignorant to see that land is cursed like unto you. The land in which you see these fake Jews on, it is cursed like unto you. You see? And you're thinking that, oh, they over there, they doing this, they getting this. No. These people are feeding them from every other land outside of that land. You see? The churches here in this world is feeding them and making them rich. But the land itself, come go with Ezekiel in chapter 7. Come go with Ezekiel in chapter 36 and hear the voice of the Most High Yah in Ezekiel 7 and in Ezekiel 36. Hear the voice of Yah telling you how messed up from the floor up that land is. That is to say that all them lies about going to your land and who this land is and who it belongs to, you're not awakened. You still dead sleep because you didn't hear the mouth of Yah communing with the prophets of yesterday. You want only what you believe through the mouth of a man telling you what he knows, his Hebrew, what he understands in Torah. But this thing is bigger than Torah, you guys. It's bigger than that. Yah is bigger than the book itself. And once you step in his realm, and not so much as man's realm or your self realm, he will allow you to hear and allow you to see. But you can't be taught by the Ruach if you got your own self-understanding. You can't be taught by the Ruach if you're following a movement. You can't be taught by the Ruach, the Most High Yah's spirit. You can't be taught by that if you got your own books that you understand. And you rather understand Enoch, hallelujah, except for what comes out of the mouth of Yah. You rather understand each and every last one of them outside of the mighty men that were called to be prophets, that heard the voice of the Most High Yah. And the Most High Yah talks to them in this book, and you can hear the voice of the Most High Yah talking to them. I told y'all even in Jacob, when Jacob was telling his son to gather, they wouldn't gather. But then I hear a voice in the background on the second verse saying, wait a minute, gather yourself together. That was the voice of the Most High Yah. But you can't hear him. You cannot hear him except you are led by his Holy Spirit. You see? And then when I heard Jacob telling them, I said, well, wait a minute, who is this saying this? Who is this? Is that you, Father? Is that you? I'm saying, is that you, Father, talking on the other end? Is that you? And lo and behold, it was him. It was the Most High Yah talking on the other end, saying, I'm trying to clear up this here. Don't let me tell you. And you think they didn't get together then? Oh, yeah, they got it. When that mighty voice of the Most High Yah had to step into them, they got together. And Jacob, I want to tell y'all, you talking about trouble. Jacob's trouble. Jacob been in trouble. Wake up, people. Stop being led by these fleshly men that have taken on position to deceive you and mislead you. Women and men. Come go and only come go in what comes and proceed out of the mouth of Yah through what he uses. Not what man uses. And man figure he's a scholar. I studied this, I studied that. And then they begin to make their own books. Then they begin to make their own movies. Then they begin to make this Hebrew Israelite movement about something that has no relevance. And that's why a lot of you all might not understand, because millions was thinking about going on over to Israel, going over to Jerusalem. But Yah, his mighty hand, he banned a lot of it, because a lot of you all wanted to jump up and run. But Yah froze that. Now I'm finna pull this up for Ezekiel, and I want to show you, just listen to Ezekiel. In Ezekiel 7, pull out your mighty sword. And that's the Bible itself. And you hear exactly what the voice of the Most High Yah. Okay, let me get. I'm gonna pull it up for you. We're gonna go Ezekiel, chapter 7. We're gonna go Ezekiel. So just get your books out, okay? And I'm trying to make sure I got this right. Ezekiel, I got my Ezekiel. And it's trying to take me somewhere outside of where I'm trying to go. And I pray that the Most High lead me back. And I'm going to let you all just sit back. And I don't want to interfere with it. I just want you to hear it. And I'm not going to talk.
Chapter 7. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord God unto the land of Israel, An end, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, An evil, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. Now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish mine anger upon thee. And I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thine abominations. And mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. I will recompense thee according to thy ways, and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am the Lord that smiteth. Behold the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth. The rod hath blossomed, pride hath budded. Violence is risen up into a rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain, nor of their multitude, nor of any of theirs. Neither shall there be wailing for them. The time is come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn. For wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. For the seller shall not return to that which is sold, although they were yet alive. For the vision is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. But they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity.
Hallelujah.
As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty. But they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them. And I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey,
That's the
and
land,
to
you
the
guys.
wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place. For the robber shall enter into it and defile it.
We messed that land up, y'all.
Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence.
This is the land they telling y'all to run,
Wherefore
go
I
over
will
to.
bring
Our
the
home.
worst
We got to
of
get
the
over to
heathen,
Jerusalem.
and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients.
That's it.
The king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them. And they shall know that I am the Lord.
Okay, going back to what I was saying, not only did he curse the house of Israel, but he also cursed the land. Mighty curse against the land. Because we had did so much on that land. Don't forget, that was the only land on the face of the earth that was Yah's. He put us there, our people. He put us there. The same nasty people we are today was the same nasty people we were then. And if we polluted his land that had all his handprints, his mold, his shape, was the richest on the face of the earth, and we polluted it. He said we shed blood. And you'll hear him in Ezekiel 36. Come back and tell Ezekiel again. This is coming out of the mouth of Yah. This ain't coming out of some man's mouth, okay? This is where you know what he's saying. This is where they won't precept and line you. They won't tell you the truth of the matter, or how ugly of a people we really are, and was, and still is greater today. And when Sisters Deborah is on these men, I'm on them for the reason of the Most High Yah's power. And I thank him for the calling that he has called me to. Because as you see in Ezekiel chapter 7, if you just listen to him telling Ezekiel, it'll blow your mind what he said. He's telling you that land ain't worth crap. It's desolated. It's polluted. And he telling you it was done that way because of what we did on it. That land ain't even worth having. And we running around here telling these ignorant people to get your passport to go over to Israel and to Jerusalem for what? In the eyes of the Almighty, that land is the worst land on the face of the earth. And just because you see the fake ones over there, let them be there. Let them be there. My time I see of my internet is going down, but I'm gonna cover 36. But look like I'm dying out here. But I'm gonna tell you, read Ezekiel 36. Everyone at the sound of my voice, read Ezekiel 36 and go back over Ezekiel 7. Then you'll see why those people that's over there, they shouldn't have been over there. Yeah, they was playing they God. And when you get a bunch of men understanding things their way, this is how they will lead you. All kind of ways. They would lead the multitude in a midst of darkness. And the multitude won't say a word until they all fall over the cliff. And it's too late to say anything. So I say unto you, do your search. And when you read Ezekiel 7 and you read Ezekiel 36, put them together and say, wait a minute, Father, Yah, that land over there with those fake Jews is desolated. It's ruined. It's nothing from the eyes of Yah. He wants us to understand that. But see, just imagine how many left here because of these Hebrew Israelite new movement, telling people to run over to Israel and Jerusalem, our homeland. That's our land. That ain't your land until he do what he gonna do in Ezekiel 36. You'll see your land in Ezekiel 36 and Ezekiel 36 and say 30. And the Lord said, in that day thou shalt cleanse the iniquity cities of the waste. 33, 34, and 35. The heathens gonna say, wait a minute. And they shall say, this land that was desolated is become like the Garden of Eden. You should see in Ezekiel 36 how y'all gonna charge the land to get up and get right. Just as he cursed that land, he gonna speak to it to get back like it should be. You gonna hear him telling that land, the mountain of Zion. You gonna hear him charging it, telling you to get back where you supposed to be. Where I once had you. Right now. I love it. I love that right hand power when it speaks. And in here, even the heathens gonna see it. They say, wait a minute. It's gonna look so good. It's gonna look like the Garden of Eden. Back like it should have been. God's gonna do that. But he's not, he's gonna get it right, but he's gonna get the children right as well. But it won't be you. I want to get that over. It still be the house of Israel. And the multitude of the house of Israel is coming from the dry bones. David's military that died in the war. He's getting them. That's why he said men, because it's going to be a multitude of them coming up in that area. Okay, he's going to get them already, the dry bones back up, so that they could he could take them over onto that land, which the heathens going to now call, hey, wait a minute, it looking like Eden. Why ain't it looking like Eden now? Because it wasn't a land worth even wanting. So stop lying to these people, telling these people that's your land. That's where you want to go. No, you don't want to go there. Hear what the prophets of yesterday have said, and stop listening to these men teach you what man has said, because they trying to mimic the parts that man is saying, but they won't mimic the parts of those who struggle to try to give you what Yah was speaking to them. See, they don't want you to listen to them. And it's their fault, because they'll end up in damnation. But if you really look at it, it's the people's fault. Why keep going off the cliff? And you don't have to. Why keep walking over in darkness? Was the light that Yah has set is marvelous. You see? So as you read Ezekiel 36 and Ezekiel 7, read both of those chapters, and then you'll say,